Welcome back to the deep dive. So today we're doing something really fascinating. We're on a mission to unlock the secret language of the human body.
That's right. Diving into nonverbal communication, specifically using these methods from a former FBI counterintelligence officer.
And the goal here is to decode what people are really thinking, right? The stuff their words are trying to hide.
Exactly.
So we need to find the part of the brain that can't lie, the truth teller.
And that is the limbic system. It's ancient. It's our survival engine, our emotional brain. It just reacts. It operates automatically.
So while the thinking brain is busy telling a lie,
The limbic brain is broadcasting the truth through the body, and it's completely outside of our control.
so if someone's feeling stressed or scared, their body's going to show it, even if their face is smiling and their words are saying everything's fine.
That's it, precisely.
Mm-hmm.
And that limbic system has relied on three hardwired responses to any threat for millions of
This
years.
is the fight or flight thing, right?
Sort of. Most people get the order wrong. The sources call it the survival triumvirate,
Mm.
and it actually goes freeze, flight, and only then fight.
Okay, let's unpack that. Freeze first. Why is that the first line of defense?
Because in the wild, movement gets you killed. It attracts a predator's attention. So the brain's first instantaneous reaction to danger is just stop, halt everything.
That makes sense from a survival standpoint, but how does that show up in, like, an office meeting?
Oh, it's subtle, but it's powerful. Let's say you're talking to someone who's normally fidgety, always moving their hands, and you ask them about a specific detail on a project, and they just go completely still.
Ah, that sudden freeze.
That's a limbic alarm bell. It means they see that topic as a threat. And we also see something called the turtle effect.
The turtle effect, I think I can picture that. Shoulders go up, head goes down.
Exactly. It's a subconscious attempt to get smaller, to hide in plain sight. You see it when people feel weak or insecure. Think of a losing team walking off the field. They're trying to literally disappear.
So if freezing doesn't work, the brain says, okay, plan B, and that's flight.
Right. If you can't hide from the threat, you have to get away from it. Now, in the modern world, you can't just sprint out of a boring meeting.
As much as you might want to.
Right. So it shows up in these small distancing behaviors. Maybe you physically lean away from someone you disagree with, or you create a barrier.
It's like putting your bag on your lap.
Absolutely. A purse, a coffee mug, anything. It's a subconscious block. It says, I'm uncomfortable and I'm putting something between us. Another huge one is eye blocking.
Closing your eyes or rubbing them.
Yeah. When you hear something you really don't like, your brain literally tries to block out the sight of it. It's an attempt to unsee the bad information.
And the source says the feet are the most honest part of this whole flight response.
They're the exit indicators. A person can be smiling, torso pointed right at you, totally engaged. But if their feet are turned toward the door,
They're already halfway out.
their limbic brain is screaming, I need to go. The feet are always ready for an escape.
So you have freeze, then flight. What happens if neither of those options are on the table? That's when we get to fight.
Fight is the last resort. It's turning that fear into aggression. And since we, can't just punch our boss, it comes out as these territorial displays.
Trying to look bigger and more dominant.
Exactly. Puffing out the chest. It's a classic. You see it in arguments right before things might get physical. Two neighbors arguing over a fence. They get chest to chest. They're trying to intimidate. The same goes for legs play.
Spreading your feet apart.
It's a literal land grab. You're claiming your territory. The wider the stance, the more control you're trying to assert. It's a very powerful signal of, I'm not backing down.
This makes so much sense. Okay, so now let's move up the body. The sources are really clear on this. There's an honesty hierarchy.
A total hierarchy. And you have to observe from the ground up. Feet and legs are the most honest. Truthfulness goes down the closer you get to the head.
So let's talk about the feet. What does happiness look like down there?
We call it happy feet. It's any kind of gravity-defying movement. Bouncing, jiggling, rocking. It means a person has high confidence, they're excited, or they feel like they're getting exactly what they want.
I love that story from the source about the poker player. His face was completely stone cold. A perfect poker face.
A perfect poker face. But under the table, his limbic system was having a party. His feet were just going crazy, bouncing up and down.
Because he knew he had a winning hand.
An unbeatable hand. His face was lying, but his feet were shouting the truth. If you only watched his face, you'd have no idea.
So feet show confidence, not just stress. But they also show intention, right? Especially the intention to leave.
Absolutely. We talked about turning the feet toward the exit, but there's another cue, especially in meetings, called the knee clasp.
That's placing both hands on your knees when you're sitting down.
Right. It looks casual, but it's not. It's an intention cue. The hands are getting leverage to push the body up. It's the final physical prep to end the meeting and stand up.
The body is getting ready to go before the person even says anything.
The body always knows first. There's that anecdote about the client who seemed engaged, but his foot was pointed at the door. When they finally asked him, he was like, "Oh, thank God I'm late for a call to London."
Wow, and what about in social situations, like courtship cues?
The feet are really revealing there, too. For women, something like shoe play, dangling a shoe off their toes, is a high comfort signal. They're relaxed.
But what's the sign that things have gone south?
It's the change. If the shoe play stops, the shoe goes back on, she turns her foot away, or she starts gathering her purse.
Mm.
The limbic system has just switched from comfort to flight mode.
And the opposite of happy, bouncing feet.
The foot freeze. This is a big one. If you're watching someone who's normally a bit fidgety and they suddenly go rigid and still when you ask a certain question.
That's a huge stress signal.
Massive. The limbic brain has spotted a threat and is slammed on the brakes. Freeze.
Okay, this is fascinating. Now let's move up to the mid-body, the torso, the arms. This is where things get more about territory.
We're getting closer to our core now. Our limbic brain is incredibly protective of our ventral side, the front where all our vital organs are. And that drives two key behaviors, ventral denial and ventral fronting.
Ventral denial, turning your front away from something you don't like.
Correct. It can even be a tiny shift, what we call blading, just angling your body away. You see this in political debates all the time. A candidate gets a tough question they hate.
And they'll lean away from the microphone.
They turn their chest away. They are nonverbal denying the question. But when we're comfortable, we do the opposite.
Ventral fronting. We open ourselves up.
Exactly. You expose your front side. You hug a child. You sit facing a trusted friend. You're signaling complete comfort and trust. You feel no need to protect yourself.
And the arms are used for these really big, obvious territorial claims.
Yeah.
Like arms akimbo.
The hands on hips pose. It's so powerful. It's an instant way to claim more physical space and signal that you are not being pushed around. It says, "I am here and we have issues to discuss."
I read that it's actually a very effective pose for women executives in boardrooms.
Highly effective. It non-verbally establishes presence and authority. It says, "I will not be ignored."
What about the opposite? The arms behind the back.
The regal stance. That signals very high status. First, you're exposing your whole vulnerable front, so you're showing you're not afraid. And second, you're sending a message. Don't get too close. I'm not to be touched.
Like royalty surveying a crowd.
That's the perfect image. It carries this powerful, unspoken message of status.
Okay, so let's get to one of the most reliable stress indicators in the whole upper body, pacifying behaviors. What's the #1 signal here?
Neck touching, without a doubt. Pacifiers are these little self-soothing things we do when we're stressed or anxious, and the limbic brain triggers them automatically. And the neck, especially that little dimple at the base of the throat,
The suprasternal notch.
that area is just packed with nerve endings.
So touching it isn't just a nervous it's actually a biological way to calm down.
It is physiological. Stroking or covering that spot can literally lower your heart rate and blood pressure. It's an emergency brake for stress.
You had that incredible story about the mother being questioned about her fugitive son.
Yes. She was so calm, so collected, denied everything. But every time the agents asked specifically if her son was hiding in the house, her hand would go up to her neck.
Right to that suprasternal notch.
Every single time. Her words were lying, but her body was desperately trying to pacify the stress of that specific lie. The clustering of the behavior was the giveaway.
Which brings up what you call the pacifying pendulum.
Right. You see it a lot with women. The hand is resting on an arm-low stress. A tough question is asked, the hand swings up to the neck, high stress. The topic changes, the hand swings back down. Watching that pendulum is like watching a stress meter in real time.
And there are other ones too, right? Like rubbing your forehead.
Rubbing your forehead, your cheek, pulling on an earlobe, even puffing your cheeks and blowing out air. That's a pacifier. Or ventilating the neck, like pulling at your collar.
Okay, finally, let's get to the hands. They're so expressive, but also, you're saying, so deceptive.
Well, they betray a lot. The first rule is just visibility. We use our hands for everything, so when they're visible, we read it as open and honest.
But if someone's hiding their hands under a table or in their pockets?
It's perceived very negatively. Jurors, interviewers, they subconsciously read it as, this person is hiding something, even if it's not true. The perception is what matters.
So what are the good signs? The high confidence hand signals.
Steepling is the top of the mountain, touching the fingertips of both hands together.
Making that little church steeple shape.
It's the most powerful high confidence tell there is. It signals you're totally self-assured, which makes everything you say sound more authoritative.
And what about the thumbs?
Thumbs are huge.
Yeah.
Thumbs sticking up out of pockets, hands carried high. That's a gravity-defying high-status display. But when someone is feeling weak or incompetent, where do the thumbs go?
Hidden in the pockets.
Exactly. They disappear. It projects low confidence.
And when real stress hits, the hands can start to shake. That's a pretty clear signal.
It's pure limbic arousal. It could be excitement or it could be fear. Context is everything. If you see shaking hands plus neck touching, you're looking at stress.
Like that espionage suspect you mentioned. He was cool as a cucumber, except
When one specific name, Conrad, was mentioned. Every time they said that name, the cigarette in his hand would start shaking uncontrollably. That one involuntary reaction was the tell.
That's incredible. Okay, last point on this. The lack of movement.
Yeah.
When people lie, they often get smaller, more constrained.
Yes, and this is so counterintuitive. We expect liars to be fidgety and nervous, but often they show less movement because their limbic brain, their honest brain, is not committed to the lie.
So they won't make those big, emphatic gestures.
Exactly. You won't see a liar pound the table and shout, "I didn't do it."
That kind of big gesture requires genuine emotional commitment, and their body just isn't willing to endorse the lie.
So after all this, from feet all the way up to the hands, what's the big takeaway? How do we actually use this?
The most important thing, the absolute most vital principle, is that this is not a lie detection checklist. These are not signs of deception. They're signs of comfort and discomfort. That's it, high stress.
So it's not one single cue. Never. The real signal is a sudden change from someone's normal baseline behavior, and you're looking for a cluster. If your coworker who's always moving suddenly freezes, puts her purse on her lap, and touches her neck when you mention the budget, that cluster of three things is the signal.
It's about becoming a better observer of your environment. Like that experiment where people miss the person in the gorilla suit because they're so focused on something else.
Right. This isn't about calling people out. It's about gaining this incredible layer of awareness about what people are truly feeling. It enriches your interactions.
We're always broadcasting. This just teaches you how to tune into the right frequency.
It's a perfect way to put it.
Which brings us to our final provocative thought for you to take away today. Your body is constantly expressing the honest truth from your limbic brain. So if your physical displays are that honest, what discomfort cues are you giving off every single day about your job, about your relationships, about your life that you're completely unaware of?